Hello everyone, my name is Brielle Guys. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book tag. Talking books that I liked, books that I didn't like, books that I've read so far this year, and what I plan to read next. Please feel free to drop a book recommendation below in the comments for me to read that you liked, that stood out to you, that you read this year, or just any time in life. And we will now jump into the questions. Before I do, I want to go down the list of books that I have read so far, so that way we can have like a nice launch pad just as I get into the questions. So far I've read 9 books this year, and they are All About Love by Bell Hooks, My Love Story by Tina Turner, Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley, Sincerely by F.S. Yusuf, Normal People by Sally Rooney, Good Morning Love by Ashley M. Coleman, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and Zora Books Are Happily Ever After by Taj McCoy. Now, without further ado, let's go into the questions. Question number 1 is, best book you've read so far in 2024. So out of the books that I've read, I want to say that the best book that I've read was probably My Love Story by Tina Turner. I love Tina, like I have an affinity for her. Like I just love who she is as a person, her music, and being able to kind of just peer into her life up until her final moments was so beautiful. She sets the scene of where she grew up and the dynamic between her and Ike, and leaving that relationship and still continuing to pursue music, and meeting Erwin and her wedding, and it was just beautiful. It was such a good story. I have like a little lore. So I read that book on a flight going back to school from spring break, and I kid you not, I finished like half of it during the duration of the flight. Like I don't know what it was, but my teeth were sunk into the book. Like it was absolutely well written. I love Tina, so I will have to say that that was probably the best book that I've read so far this year. Next question is biggest disappointment. I wouldn't say that I'm like disappointed by any book that I've read, but from the books that I did like read this year, I was kind of disappointed with The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It was a well written book, and I enjoyed Toni Morrison. She's a great orator. She has like great anecdotes. However, I was kind of disappointed by some of the subject material that was inside of the book. It was very interesting because like before going in and reading the book, I've heard like many people say that it's a classic, that you should read it, like it's really, really great. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just read the book and we'll just see what it's like. But the book like itself, it was kind of heavy. It was very, not even kind of heavy, it was heavy, like very, very heavy book material. Like I had so many moments where I was just like, I had to like read something soft, like after reading that book. Like it was, don't get me wrong, well written, but just heavy in a way that like people who have said to read this book did not mention. So it was kind of like, why didn't people talk about this or say something about it? But I guess like, I don't know. But I was just like, it was just a lot. So I was kind of disappointed in the fact that like, why didn't anybody say anything or detail like the book? I'm not gonna like say like what's in there, but you know, proceed a little bit with caution before you read the book. I want to go ahead and assume that all of her books kind of have like some heavy subject material, just as I've seen on social media. So do what you want with that information. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get a little preface before reading the book. But it's probably my fault. I probably should have not said something, but like did a little bit more research before reading the book. But well written, just a lot for me personally. Next question is biggest surprise. Ooh, that's a good question. From the books that I've read, I want to say that the biggest surprise that I got inside of a book, this is like a kind of a cute surprise. So Sincerely by F.S. Yusuf, it's a book of poems, and what I thought was so cute inside of the book was that was the book that he used to propose to his wife to. I thought that was so cute. I thought that was such a cute surprise. It's like the poem is inside of the book. I won't like put it in because like if you want to read it, you should read it and see it and savor it yourself. But it was so cute. I was like, oh, you used this book of poems to propose to your wife? Like, it was so cute. So I have to say that that surprised me the most in that book. Next question is newest fictional crush. I would have to say Reed inside of Zora Books Are Happily Ever After. He's like cute. Like he comes off very strong at first inside of the book, because the book is kind of like in the beginning it's like a little bit like of a love triangle kind of situation. I enjoyed it. And Reed, he was like just cute, kind of stoic, but like when you got to like the core of who he was like very like cute and nice, and he's a teacher. So I'll have to say that he was like a book crush for me. Yeah, newest fictional crush, Reed. Next question is newest favorite character. Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say this isn't a character, but I'll just say like newest favorite author. I'll like rephrase this question. Newest favorite author I have to say would be Bell Hooks. All About Love was a great book in the sense that Bell Hooks was just sharing her experiences with love and the adverse sides of it, and I enjoyed one like little snippet that I'll share here. Not necessarily a spoiler, but she was just talking about how there's a difference between a heart connection and a soul connection whenever we meet people, and it was so cute. I'm gonna stop it there. I won't say anything else. You just have to go read it. Really a refreshing take on love, which I enjoyed. So she's a new author that I'm going to keep my eyes on for just other books that she has, because I know she has some. And yeah, so newest favorite author or newest favorite character, I have my little spin on it, would probably have to be Bell Hooks. Book that made you cry. I didn't cry while reading like any of the books that I read, but I want to say that the one that was probably the most like touching that I read was probably The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. You're seeing this prophet as he's making his journey, and he's just sharing his wisdom on money and relationships and conflict, and people in the town are like just asking him like, well, what's your take on this? And he's just sharing it with the people, and it was like a really good book. And I'm noticing, you guys, that a lot of like, because this book was very short, a lot of the short books that like I've read like within this year and then in years before me, like they have like some very powerful punches for them to be short. And so that was probably the most like sentimental book that I've read. Didn't make me cry, but it was very sentimental. Next question is, book that made you happy. Ooh, honestly, all these books, well, not all of them, but I'll probably have to say the Black romance novels made me happy the most, just because I've been like on a Black romance novel kick. And I honestly shouldn't say kick, it's just, I enjoy reading them, so it's not a kick. But those made me happy. Those were really cute. I like Zora Books Are Happily Ever After. That was a really cute book. You had Zora, who was a bookstore owner, and you're going through her life and meeting two different gentlemen and choosing which one that she wants to be with, finding love with her grandmother and then her best friend. So that book was really nice. And then Bake It Till You Bake It, Jamie Wesley, was kind of like a different focus for Black romance. It was on an NFL player named Donovan who owns a cupcake store, and a girl named, I believe her name is Jada. She works within the cupcake store, and so you see like the dynamic between those two, because Jada's like an influencer. That's like her career or profession that she does. So you're together within the confines of this cupcake store, and it's very cute. So books that made me happy were probably the Black romance novels. It's because I have an affinity for them, and they explore just different career themes inside of the book. So I thought that was cute. Favorite book to movie adaptation you've seen so far this year? So I haven't read like an adapted book this year, but I'll go to 2023. One of my favorites was The Other Black Girl by Zakiya. That was adapted by Netflix that I read last year, and I really, really loved it. But what I thought was interesting was the book was not as like thriller as a series was, so I thought that was an interesting take that they took on it. So it'll be interesting to see if they come up with a season 2, because it is like just a standalone book. I haven't seen like a sequel be made for it. I have to check, but I thought that that was like a nice book to film, not even necessarily film, but like just book to TV series that I read in 2023. Great book, great series, check it out. Then that is everything. So those are all of the questions from this mid-year book tag of mine. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Also, please feel free to share any book recommendations that you have in the comments below, because I would love to read them at some point in time. I have a plethora of books, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, that I have yet to read, but I keep buying books. I just bought one today. Feel free to drop a book recommendation down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.